Hello, this is Tim Law with Plan It Forward Coaching and Self-Reliance You. Always remember your goals, your life, your dreams, and your career are all essential. A big thank you to over 400 people that have subscribed to this channel, Plan It Forward Coaching. If you haven't already, please do so. Uh, Always remember too that whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. I am really, really happy to have a young man who I just met actually through another mutual contact of ours, some guy named Antonio Rizzuto from Northeastern, introduced me to Brandon McGlynn here, who was a Dallastown graduate, also going to Lockhaven. So Brandon, tell us your story a little bit. Welcome to the Plan It Forward Coaching.
Well, thank you for having me. First off, it's a pleasure. Antonio talks very highly of you in all your videos. So
I pay Antonio and Fredmulbaugh very good money to talk highly of me, Brandon. It's all good.
I was a basketball player myself. My whole family's been involved in basketball. My brother plays professionally. Right now, he played at Rhode Island underneath Dan Hurley. My little brother played too in AAU. I myself was one of 8 people in the state to be nominated to be a McDonald's All-American with Cam Reddish and Jake Forrester. So that was pretty cool. But unfortunately, I had about 8 concussions and brain surgery and then 3 heart surgeries and a bunch of other things that really inhibited me from my growth. So my athletic career had to come to an end when I went to Lockhaven University. And that's where I got offered to be an assistant coach there and then the head strength coach also for the team. I'm about to be a senior this year. And then I have my own business at home there where I combine sports performance and rehabilitation all in like one gym. And then I do skill development for basketball as well.
Yeah, well, tell us a little bit more about the, how old were you when you had the heart issue?
Yeah, so I was in 6th grade for that. So I was pretty young. I went to the emergency room because I had a heartbeat of 242 beats a minute. So yeah, they had to stop my heart so that way it could reset itself. So luckily I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you said the concussions kind of came when you were in more in high school?
Yeah, so I had my first concussion in 8th grade and that didn't go away. I didn't have, my symptoms didn't go away for about like 3 to 4 months. So I ended up getting an MRI and CAT scan. They found out that I had Chiari malformation 1, which is where your brain is too big for your skull. So it pushes into your brainstem and blocks your cerebral fluid from flowing right. So I had a lot of headaches and dizziness and memory loss. So they went in there and they cut my skull open, replaced some of that skull with mesh. So that way my brain had more room to sit inside my skull. Yeah.
And what advice or what thoughts would you give to, other up and coming athletes, regarding, the concussion scenario you went through, Brandon?
Yeah, for sure. My biggest takeaway was don't take life and other things that you have in your life for granted. Basketball was my whole life growing up, and then I was out for 3 to 6 months at a time, probably around 8 times because of my concussions, and then a lot of other issues like with the heart surgery. So I didn't get to play the sport that I loved as much as I wanted to, and I had to see everybody else do the things that I loved. And just don't take life for granted because you never know what can happen in life. You never know how much time you have, if something's going to be taken away from you. So really be present in life. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, no, I think that's excellent advice, Brandon. And you look at these kids that graduated in 2020, the spring season kids, they were pretty much wiped out because of the COVID thing. So like you just said, you never know. You never know whether it's an injury, whether it's this COVID thing that came out of, who knows where everything got started there. But like you're right, there's no question that you never know when the last time you could have a practice or playing and everything like that. So I really like that life lesson you described. Other thoughts that you have regarding life lessons that you've learned from sports, your business, that kind of thing. I'm going to ask you more about your business in a minute too.
Just any lessons that I learned about like what I do.
Yeah, as well as as far as the sports and or the work that you're doing. Sure.
My biggest thing that I really learned what I wanted to do, and I feel like this wasn't really taught to me in school, is do what you love, and then like success follows what you love. Like you can be an entrepreneur, you can do your own thing if you want to. You don't have to do a 9 to 5 all the time. So that my biggest thing is be passionate about what you love and pursue what you love, and then you can be really happy in life instead of doing something that you're not happy or satisfied with and just kind of go through the motions.
Sure. And what if somebody wants to kind of go toward, and I've talked to some other young people too about, entrepreneurship and that type of thing? What would you, besides having a passion for it, and obviously you've got a good work ethic, you've got good people skills going. What would you, if you could give one or two tips as far as people looking to start, their own business, that type of thing? What would you say to them?
Well, okay. So one of the best ways I actually learned myself was, if I don't know if you've ever heard of Shark Tank.
Oh yeah, sure.
So that's, I think watching investors and people that are trying to invest in your business is a great way to learn about the business side of it instead of just the creative side of what you're really
Mhm.
passionate about. Is that if you do want to pursue something you love, you have to understand that it's about what you love, but it's also about business as well, making money. So you have to understand financials. So there's a lot more than that goes into it than just what you love. You have to be very well versed in financials aspects of business. So I think that that's something that could be very beneficial.
Sure. Now you say you're up at Lockhaven, and what was what you're majoring in? Training, um, fitness training, etc. What? Tell us a little bit about your major there.
Yeah, so my major is actually pre-physical therapy. So I want to get my training certification. I'll do that after my undergrad, but my goal is to get my doctorate in physical therapy. So I'll go to grad school after Lockhaven. And then my long-term goal is to have a gym and a facility that bridges the gap between rehab, which is my physical therapy component, and then sports performance with my certification with what I want to do. Just because when I played, I went to a bunch of physical therapists and other facilities, and I didn't think that they really bridged the gap between the two, and their return to play processes really weren't well. So I think that there's a huge gap in the market, and for athletes in general that want to get back to the sport that they love, to be back faster, healthier, and quicker.
Sure, sure. No, that makes sense. And I'd be remiss if we didn't bring up a couple guys that you know pretty well, Antonio Rizzuto and Fredmulbaugh. What can you
Yep.
say about those guys?
Oh, I love both of them. I played AAU with both of them my junior year going into my senior year. Um, I knew them before; they were cool. But I think once when you get to play with people and then you get to really hang out with them, you get to know them not just as athletes but as persons. And I got nothing but great things to say about them. They're both great people, great friends, and great athletes in what they're doing too, and they're really successful.
Yeah. And how about your brothers? You've had some brothers that have been pretty successful as well.
Yeah, so well, my little brother, he played in high school and he had a few surgeries from getting hurt, and then he
Yeah,
was just
his first name, Brandon.
Nike McGlynn.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I got a boring name. I got Nike McGlynn and For McGlynn, and then you got Brandon. Middle child syndrome.
There
That's
you
what I
go.
get. Um, yeah, but he ended up playing, and then he stopped because he got too many surgeries and didn't want to keep going with that. My older brother played at Rhode Island with
Mhm.
underneath 𝙈𝙀𝘼𝘾. He plays professionally right now. I mean, he was really good, all-time leading scorer at Dow. I mean, he had offers to go to Penn State, Purdue, and a bunch of other high majors his grad year.
Sure. And now, where's he playing professionally at?
So actually, he's in the TBT currently, helping to coach sideline cancer. He
Okay.
was just in Portugal. He got done that season, so he's trying to wait till he can get a new contract so he can go back overseas somewhere.
Yeah. Well, that European league is it's not easy. That's for sure. There's some great
Oh
players
yeah,
over there for
I
sure.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So as far as going forward, as far as your business is concerned, what is it? What goal do you want to, or goals are you setting for yourself regarding kind of straddling both sides of this with your business and your academics, basically?
Yeah. So I'm not 100% sure, like, what I want to do, like maybe like 10 years in from now in regards to like the setup and everything. But and if I just kind of want to keep building each year. So like last year, I just started doing training and I just made an Instagram page. This year, started a YouTube channel, started to do like more full workout clips so that people can kind of see what I do.
Mhm.
In a few years, I want to get a GA job somewhere as a assistant for a basketball team, help out with some teams, and then kind of go from there. And then I'm hoping after my grad year, I get a job as a physical therapist someplace. And then I kind of really want to work for somebody just a little bit, just so that way I can kind of um, meet some doctors and create
Mhm.
some relationships in the field. So that way I can do my own thing probably in 5 to 10 years afterwards. So I can make my own stuff. So that way I can have referrals, good relationships in the medicine community. So that's kind of my goal.
Okay. And what's the name of your YouTube channel? Because I'd certainly like to let people know here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, BMM, mitochondrial performance. I can send
Okay,
it to
yes,
you that
yes.
way.
Slow that down. Say it again.
Yeah, so BMM, my initials, and
Okay,
then mitochondrial performance.
okay.
I can send it to you so you can put it in the caption. So when I
Yeah,
started it,
yeah. Please
uh,
send that to me. I want to make sure I spell it right because obviously it'd be one letter off and you won't get it. You know.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, when I first started, I wanted the mitochondria is like the powerhouse of the cell, so I kind of wanted to be the
Okay.
powerhouse of training. Yeah, a little corny,
Cool.
but it
No,
catches
no,
the
it's
eye.
all good. It's all good. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, as we kind of get close to the end here, Brandon, who would you say has been some of your main role models, people you've looked up to, people that have really kind of helped you along the way? I always like to give shout outs or credit to people that, we all need help along the way for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely my dad would be my number one. I mean, throughout everything I've been through, he's always been there for me, as well as my mom. They
Hmm.
both have been there for me in every aspect of the way. Just taking care for me. Because I've been sick a lot and I've been had a lot of injuries and surgeries. So they've always been my number one supporters. And then they've also helped me with schooling and everything, just getting me to school and helping me out with that aspect. Secondly, my brother, just because he himself went through brain surgery before me. And then I kind of got to kind of see how he dealt with it. And then he helped me out with some stuff along that way. So he's definitely been a big role model in that aspect. And then lastly, my head coach at Lockhaven, Nestor, he's the man. I got my eighth concussion up there and my career was about to be over. And then he saw something in me with how I was doing my own workouts and he offered me a job as an assistant. As a freshman, actually going into my
Wow.
sophomore year. So I think that says a lot as well to put me on his staff. And I actually take care of all the strength conditioning. So he trusts me completely. I do everything with players who are even older than me as what I'm doing right now. So it's pretty
Hmm.
cool.
No, that's incredible for sure. So,
Thank
any last second thoughts, Brandon? This has been wonderful. Some great information. I love the idea on how you've overcome, the heart situation, the concussions. You're very enthusiastic about your college as well as your business, etc., and that type of thing. Any last second thoughts before we conclude here?
Honestly, my biggest thing is honestly just chase what you love in your dreams because I think life is honestly too short to not. You don't want to go through life and in 10 years you're just like, oh, I wish I would have done this or I should have done this. I could have done this. Like if you should have and you could have, you should do it. So don't go through life with regret. Just live presently and be happy and take advantage of everything that you have.
So well said, and wisdom beyond your years. I can see why you and Fredmulbaugh and Antonio Rizzuto get along so well,
Yeah,
because
I appreciate
I
that.
think the same thing about those guys. They're just awesome. Well, this has been
Absolutely.
fantastic, Brandon. If you could just hang for a second when we get done, I appreciate you being on here very much.
For sure. Thank you for having me. It means a lot. I'm very happy to be on here.
Excellent. Thank you.